Welcome, race fans, back to Prime Time Racing TV. In the booth tonight, Brandon Kreutz, myself, and Corey Silva. Corey, how you doing tonight?
Great, Brandon. How are we doing today?
I'm doing good, ready for some racing action at Irwindale Speedway.
That we are for week 2 of us with the Northeast Racers at the Irwindale Speedway this week for, I believe, 100 laps in the 3-wide designs 100.
Should be a good show. The Great American Modified Tour with this league. These guys put on a great show last week at Five Flags. We're expecting the same result this week. Irwindale can be a racy track with the right group, and I think these guys got what it takes.
Yeah, we saw a lot of good competition, a lot of strategy with the rule set they have in this league. It actually really promotes clean racing, and it promotes tire strategy and caution strategy. So you really have to be on your game both in terms of speed and what you do on pit road.
Absolutely, and we saw that play out very interestingly last week. A lot of guys taking 2 tires or 4 tires. Maybe you want to conserve, 2 tires for the end of the race by taking just that going for that 2-tire stop in the beginning.
Yeah, these guys are allowed 4 tires to change during the race. So they obviously start with the 4 tires they have, but they can change 4 at any time. So you could change 2, you could change 4, you could change 1, but you only have 1 set of tires to put on that car during this race.
Yeah, and folks, keep in mind, 1 set is 4, so if they use 2, that does not count as a set. So, yeah, a lot of strategy can be played here, Corey.
Yeah, we aren't talking the rules of the Monster Energy All-Star race where you only put on the 4-tire option set. You could put the tires on in any sequence you would like to.
Yeah, last week we didn't see much of a strategy with guys making 2 stops. Most of them was 1 stop in the middle of the race, and a lot of guys took 2 tires just for the track position. We may see something different last week because a lot of the guys who took 2 tires ended up falling off really early in the second run.
Yeah, so we comparing last week, we had James Curl in the 51 car. He was the class of the field, and as I go through this lineup, I don't believe I see him in this race. Do you?
Not at the moment, actually. Interestingly enough.
So that automatically means, unless he joins in last second, we are going to have a different winner in today's race. So that'll make things interesting. Qualifying wraps up, I believe, shortly here, and we'll get you the starting lineup. One thing to mention about the Irwindale Speedway, not a track you see very oftenly run on iRacing. Brandon, what could these drivers expect here from this Irwindale Speedway?
Well, it's mostly high-line racetrack, Corey, but if you can drive the car in just right and have the good run, you can duck in that bottom line, sometimes even use the apron and pull a slide job on the guys above you.
Yeah, we do have progressive banking here, so while the inside is the shorter way around, the outside has the banking, and it will help you turn that car around the corners. So like he said, you're going to be seeing the high line run, but if you want to pass, you're going to have to go where they aren't, and that's on the bottom.
Well, quick look at our weather, Corey. 75 degrees, no winds at all. Not too much of a challenge weather-wise for these guys today. A nice overcast sky.
Yeah, so grip should not be an issue here today. It should be all about just that handle in that car, that setup, and that driver behind the wheel.
So, what are you really expecting for today's race, Corey?
I'm expecting hopefully a lot cleaner of a race. They were not proud of the 9 cautions they had last week, so I think these guys are going to play a little bit nicer with each other. But I really expect to see some of the guys last week have a good run. I expect to see Rowdy David Greenslet in the 20. I expect him to see up there. Evan Black was up front last week, if you remember, but had some issue in a late race caution. So I expect to see a lot of the same guys up front, but hopefully some new guys. But as the grid is now set, let's get you our Primetime TV starting lineup here from the Irwindale Speedway. And on the pole for today's race is Graham Narcombe with a 17.11 second lap. On the outside pole will be Brad Carpenter in the number 31. Kyle Bingham, bump and run Kyle Bingham in the with a 17.14. Connor Blaze in fourth. Evan Black in P5. David Greenslet, Rowdy David Greenslet in sixth. Matthew Kimball starting seventh. Brian Town in eighth. Ricky Nadeau in ninth, and Dan LaFoe, Dynamite Dan LaFoe in 10th. Brandon?
In 11th, Jeff Gallup. 12th, Cody LeBlanc. 13th, Kyle Willis. 14th, Zach Only. If I pronounced that right, sorry. Starting in 15th will be Keith Lord. 16th, David Elliott. 17th, Ronald Narcombe. 18th, Byron Bartlett. 19th, Mark Reed, and 20th, rounding out the field, Rodney Huntoon.
Yep, so an even 20 drivers here taking the grid here at Irwindale. One thing that has changed from last week and not from the league's end is from our end here on Primetime TV, testing out some new overlays and graphics. So let us know how you like them up here. Kind of got some new flashy lights and all this stuff. We have our Primetime TV social media on the top for you guys to check out. So let us know how you like that.
Primetime Racing TV does have a couple big projects here coming up regarding the overlays, so keep your eye out for those possibly in the future here, folks.
All right, so the cars are moving here off the grid, so let's get ready, get those belts tight one more time, grab that drink, grab what you need, and let's get ready for some racing here.
Look at that rough pace car out in front of the field.
Because why not, right?
Because iRacing.
There'll be one more time around here at the Irwindale Speedway, and that pace car will be pulling into pit lane.
So that 78 car ready to take these guys to the green flag here as they pull down the backstretch.
78 car, he is, I mean, I don't know if they give lane choice, but he is taking the inside, whether by rule or by choice. So let's see here. Pace car is in. We wait for the green flag. We wait for it. We wait for it. Green flag. We are on the loud pedal. Graham Narcombe is on the loud pedal. Entering turn one. They are still side by side. 31 car in the preferred line is on the outside. Coming on turn
down
two.
The back straightaway now. They start to settle in just a little bit, but a lot of these guys fighting for the top side. They do not want to be left out to dry. The opposite of last week. These guys don't want to be left out on the bottom here at Irwindale.
Yep, so you can see the second lane, maybe third lane is the preferred groove, and Brad Carpenter in the 31 had it, and look at him all the way down the apron there at turn 3 and 4, Brandon. You were talking about that in the pre-race.
Yes, I was. You pull that right, you can get a big run off that corner, but you don't want to slow yourself down too much.
Battle for the third position right now as we have David Greenslet in the 20. Looking to pass, I believe it's Graham Narcombe in the 78. The pole sitter dropping back to fourth already. You can see he's now in that preferred line up top with bump and run Kyle Bingham on the inside. Looking to make a run, but now he's lost his momentum due to that inside line. And now he's in the clutches of Matthew Kimball for the 5th position.
Yeah, trapped in a position.
Yeah, it looks like as expected when you're on the inside lane. I mean, you're going to gain a little bit of time through the center, but you just have the 77 loose.
Almost 3 wide there, just about put himself into the wall.
And if you notice there, the 77 got into Dan LaFoe in the 11 there, and that sent him up the track a little bit.
Dan LaFoe in the 11 looking to strike back, make the pass. Not going to get anywhere on the bottom, though. He was looking, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, so now we're kind of single filed out. Apologies, the ticker was a little outdated there. Bat's back on for you folks. So while that battle ceases, let's go back up front. We have the 31 car, Brad Carpenter. He's now under fire from the 57 of Connor Blaze. Connor Blaze looks to the inside, gets right on the rear tail of that car as we enter turn 3, and he's going to follow in his foot tracks up top. Nope, try to take it a little bit lower. He's running not low, but low enough to try to cut that gap just a little bit, and it seems to be working.
Yeah, he's cutting down the track just a little bit of a run off a corner. The question is what'll happen when they get side by side. He won't be able to jump back up to the top of the track. He's going to have to stay where he is to try to make that pass.
That is true. So he's either going to have to maybe run higher and try to get a better run, or he's going to have to run low and maybe do a slide job.
Oh,
and
here
he's
he goes,
going for the dive.
Going for the slide job.
In the grass. He clipped the grass, and here comes the crossover.
The crossover from the 31 car now down back into the corner. He'll do the same thing back to the 57 up top, and the crossover is pulled once again.
And there it is again. This is just cat and mouse game.
He's going to see if he can pull that slide job one more time. He clears him off the corner, and this time gets a big enough run where I think he can hold him off, but they're still side by side.
Here we come off of turn number 2. The 57 on the outside. The 57 clears, but look who's we brought in the mix now. Rowdy David Greenslet at the 20 as the 31 all the way to the grass in 3 and 4. That's going to allow the 20 to get a run on the outside, and where is he going to go with it? He's going to stick right behind him, David Greenslet chooses to do.
Yeah, he had nowhere to go there, Corey, and unfortunately that's something you got to deal with here at Irwindale.
As we have from the chopper camera, you could really see the difference in lines. There has to be a good 100 feet of difference between those two lines there in 3 and 4, between the top and the apron there, and it's really interesting to see.
Yeah, more apron to use down there in one corner than the other. As you can see them going through there now. 31 ducks all the way down low past the spotted line there.
And the thing about it is he's doing that by choice. He's not under fire at all. He's actually choosing to run that line. Let's go on board here with the 31. Let's watch him run this ridiculous slide down low, to be honest. I say ridiculous, but if it works for him, it works. I've just never seen that done before.
I've only seen a few drivers be able to pull that off consistently, Corey, and I don't know how he's conserving as much tire as he is by running down there, but he's doing an awesome job right now.
See, he gains maybe about a 1/10 through the center. I mean, I guess ultimately, if he gains more through the lap, it's worth it, because he's going to lose it on exit, but if he gains enough through the center, it still ends up being a positive for him.
That's right. He better watch out, though, now, because he's got that 20 car coming right on his tail again.
David Greenslet running the more traditional conservative line, perhaps trying to save tires, because we're 18 laps into this race and we still have not seen that yellow flag flown.
We're mostly single file throughout the field here, Corey. No major battles that I can see.
If we go actually back to around the 9th position, there's a big freight train here about all the way from Dan LaFoe back to Evan Black, so the 7th position back to the 11th. 5-car battle nose to tail. See the 18 car here, Brian Town trying to get under the 88 of Ricky Nadeau, and that's going to bring the 7 car of Cody LeBlanc into the picture.
Caution.
And
Caution,
the first caution of the race.
In the air.
All right, you tell me about your car, bud.
Kyle Willis in the 55, backwards on the front straightaway. We'll go back here on Primetime TV, instant replay, and see what's going on. See Kyle Willis here entering turn 3 and 4 underneath the 4 car of Jeff Gallup.
Wow.
And this contact, he got up the track, pushed up, and into them he got.
That ran the lower line there through the corner there, Corey, and couldn't make a stick and got up into the 4 car. Good job to everyone by avoiding him, though.
So now that puts us about a quarter of the way through today's race, and the question is, what do you do on pit road if you even choose to?
Not sure if these guys' times really fell off too much, Corey. Wouldn't be surprised if they took all 4, middle of the race and called it done with their one set.
Now, one thing to note with the Irwindale Speedway is Irwindale is a interesting track. It's a track within a track. So you have the main oval that we're racing on now, and there's also a shorter oval in the interior, and that shorter oval is the pit lane, actually. So as we're going to go on board here with the leader, you can see to the left that is the pit lane here. So it's not traditional pit lane. It's actually a miniature racetrack. Just something worth noting.
This track in real life was almost torn down a couple of years ago. Another interesting note. The only thing keeping it alive was a petition signed by a couple of million people.
Yep, so one thing, you always have to support your local racetrack. The racetracks are very easily taken down these days. You have new neighborhoods that move next to racetracks, and people complain about the noise. Well, the racetrack was there first. You can't take the racetrack away just because you moved in. So protect your local racetracks, buy tickets, show up. We got to keep racing alive.
Yeah, exactly, Corey. And very good note there.
Again, the 3-wide Designs 100 we're racing at the Irwindale Outer Circuit, Irwindale, USA. Irwindale, 0.47 miles, so a hair under a half mile. And again, as you said, the weather conditions 75 degrees, 80-degree track temp. It is a relatively cold track, so like we said earlier, I really don't think that grip is an issue today.
No, I don't think so. If anything, these guys are probably struggling with a tight race car. Some of them, I should say. You got to have a looser race car to run down on the apron like that 31 car was.
That is true, and as of now, the lights are out on the pace car, so we're going to double them back up here, and the number 57 of Connor Blaze, who has led so far 16 of the 26 laps in this race, will take us down to our green flag this time by. He will have the 31 of Brad Carpenter in the recommended line on the outside, so it's all dependent on how good of a restart the 57 and 31 gets to see who's going to lead us down. And on the loud pedal very quickly is Connor Blaze there, wasting no time, and he's already out to about a 0.3 second lead here over the second place drivers.
He left all of those guys in the dust. They're all side by side, scrambling to get to the high side. Caution is back out on the racetrack.
Towards the end of that little run we just did.
Graham Narkham, our pole sitter, involved. Back on primetime TV replay, and we will see what happened to the pole sitter, Graham Narkham.
Oh, someone got turned to the low side, Corey.
Looks like he's racing with Dan LaFoe here, and it looks like he may have turned down, got a little loose into the 18 from my perspective.
Yeah, that's a tough one to call, Corey.
Let's maybe try a different view here.
The 77 looks like he actually got into the rear end of the
We're on the blimp cam here. The 78's on the outside. Maybe the 77 hit him and he got a little loose and into the 18 of Brian Town. That's a really hard, a lot of close racing there. Hard to tell exactly what happened, but
yeah, it's a tough one to call. But multi-car incident here, Corey. Looks like everyone was able to drive away.
yeah, these cars, while they are open wheel, they are relatively durable, so.
Got all those Nerf bars to keep you mostly protected, at least.
So, through that interesting restart by the 57, David Greenslet is now in the second position now. Brad Carpenter in third. As we have a rundown of the top five here, Connor Blaze, David Greenslet, Brad Carpenter, Matthew Kimball up to the top five, as is Dan LaFoe. Have not talked about either of them much so far while we've been broadcasting this league.
Yeah, a couple new faces out front that we didn't really get a chance to see last week. So this is really shaping out to be a completely different race than last week, Corey, other than really the 20 car being up where he is right now.
We did see Matthew Kimball up there, but if I remember correctly, he had some issues later on. So yeah, we have a completely different set of drivers up front, which is really good to see here. I always like to see parity, like to see different drivers win.
Absolutely. So,
unless, of course, you are the driver, then you want to win every week. But here in the booth, we like seeing some parity.
Makes for good entertainment. So, folks, if you're watching, please be sure to hit that like button. It does help us out a lot. Makes us feel good about ourselves and what we're doing. We don't mind a little bit of constructive criticism in the comments if you aren't pleased with something that we're doing. So feel free to give us some feedback on our broadcast here. We do appreciate it.
And if you are out there in a league, we are taking requests for new broadcast openings for different leagues. And if you want your races broadcasted, please let us know. We have our social media at the top of the ticker.
So, Corey, these guys are starting to get lined up, double file, slowly rolling down the backstretch. Pace car ducks down pit road. These guys getting ready to go, waiting for Connor Blaze to jump on the gas.
He's already
there
going.
He goes. Green flag back in the air.
He was on the green flag entering turn 3 there. I don't know if that's allowed in this league or not, but he did it anyways, and he's out to another good-sized lead as we exit turn 2. Excuse me, David Greenslet into the second position. Brad Carpenter in his traditional line all the way down into the grass in turn 3.
I was just going to say something about that, Corey. That's amazing how he can make a stick, but don't look now. He's got a lot of guys on his rear bumper. He ducks down there once again, hoping to maybe make something work. He manages to hold his position down
The
there.
thing is he gets to the left rear of the car in front of him nearly every single time, but obviously he has absolutely no momentum in doing it, so he loses all of that time and then some on exit.
Yeah, exactly, and through turns 3 and 4 now, he doesn't lose much, but he doesn't gain any either. He's got a lot of cars on his rear bumper.
Dan LaFoe in the 77 looking to, Dan LaFoe in the 11 under heat from Kyle Bingham, who is actually now under heat from Ricky Nadeau here. We have some battling going on for the 7th position.
Your battle for the lead now, Corey. David Greenslet is right on the back bumper of the 57 of Connor Blaze.
That he is, as we are out 38 laps into this race here. The 3-wide designs 100. David Greenslet running the 31 cars line all the way down there on the apron, and it didn't really work for him as well as it has the 31.
It seems like you got to have the right race setup for it, Corey, and most of these guys just weren't planning on running down there this race.
There's got to be ways to make a pass, and these guys are trying to find it, because when we're top lane and primarily top lane only track, it will really take some thought process and planning into your moves.
Indeed it will. So the 57 starts to pull away. See if we have any mid-pack battles, Corey.
I believe I see some battling going on here again in the heat of the battle for about the 6th to about the 8th position. We have a freight train which we have had for the majority of the race, actually.
Yeah, we have, and 77 gets into the wall just a little bit. He recovers, thankfully for that big Nerf bar on the side of that car.
We have Evan Black under heat from the 0-1 of Rodney Huntoon. Evan Black in the what was the 9th position is now the 10th position as he's fallen back to. The 0-1 actually being able to hold that run there on the bottom line, Rodney Huntoon is.
0-1 on the low side, number 8 on the high side. Generally, we don't see the low side be able to pull like this, but he wasn't having too many issues. I think his tires are really starting to fall off now.
Kyle Bingham in the 77 is taking some shades out of Kyle Larson's book here. He is right up against that wall within inches of it as he's trying to hold off Ricky Nadeau in the 88.
As you should be at Irwindale Speedway here, Corey. One thing he's got to watch out for, those big tires down there.
Let's go on board here with Kyle Bingham. Kyle Bingham, as I said, he is running the Larson line. If I've ever seen it before, he is right within inches of that wall.
Yeah, he is. Very interesting to see the different lines here. He got into the wall again there, just scraped it.
I said shades of Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson is known for hitting that wall, but what happens when Kyle Larson hits the wall? He runs that line the same lap. If you commit to the high line, you need to run the high line, and that's what Kyle Bingham is doing right. Oh, and he's into it again. He's hopefully not damaged that car, but he's hit it a couple times now.
He looks like he'll be fine, Corey. You got those big Nerf bars on the side. A little bit of scrape won't do anything.
But we have to go back up front, Brandon. Is David Greenslet in the 20. He is not backing off. He is right there, if not closer than he was before.
Looking on the low side now. He's really trying to get to the rear bumper, right up to that rear bumper as they go down into turns 3 and 4. Side by side now, going down the back straightaway. Can he get anything done? Isn't able to stay next to him.
And here we come, Brad Carpenter. What is he doing? He's running the grass. Cautions on the speedway. And it is the 18 car of Brian Town backwards on the back straightaway. We will go back
on the Primetime Racing TV replay.
As we see here, he's in turns 3 and 4. He's racing the 17 car of Keith Lord here. And Brian Town to the inside, and 1 and 2. All's fine, all's well. And looks like on the exit of 2, the 17 got loose, and he was, so the 17 and the 18.
Wow, that's an odd sight right there for Irwindale, Corey. Normally these guys are pushing tight on exits. 17 looped it all by himself.
So maybe it's these tires. Do you think these tires are wearing out a little bit?
Yeah, I'd say so, Corey. You know, these guys are probably, especially back there, probably been racing, you know, pretty hard, and this many laps in, I'd say probably tires.
As we are halfway, and we do have our first takers here on pit lane, the 77 and the of Kyle Bingham, Evan Black in the 8.
I'd say a perfect time for a caution for most of these guys, Corey, right at the halfway point.
That is true. That is true. And a perfect time for us to go to a very quick commercial here on Primetime TV. We will be back with you momentarily. And we are 1 to go, and we are back here. Connor Blaze taking us down on the back straightaway. Connor Blaze still your leader. David Greenslet in second. We are past halfway here. 53 laps into this race, and he's already on the loud pedal. I wasn't ready to talk about it. He was so early.
Green flag back in the air, going down into turns number 1 and 2. Look at the battle for second place now. Side by side, going down the back straightaway, Corey, and the 31 car dives all the way down at the apron, just like we expected.
That is what he has been famous for, and here he comes up. David Greenlit trying to hold on, and he does hold on to that second position.
Battle for third now. 3 cars back there looking for that third position.
Dan LaFoe, the 11, 50 car of Matthew Kimball. They are battling hard right now.
So the 31 starts to pull away a little bit. 2-car battle for 4th place now. And the top 3 are all single file.
About a 4/10 second lead does Connor Blaze have, but David Greenslid, from what we've seen, does seem to be the faster car. So we'll see if that does carry over yet again as this run progresses and they get more heat in the tires.
Yeah, a lot of these guys just trying to defend position right now, looking closely in their rear views. A lot of defensive lines happening, just trying not to get sucked in by the cars behind them. Mid-pack, little bit chaotic as always here, Corey. And, you know, these guys really doing their best to defend where they're at.
Ricky Nadeau all over the back of the 50 car of Matthew Kimball here as we come into turn 3. Almost gives him a little bit of a tap in the bumper there.
Yeah, just a little bit. The chrome horn, it's there for a reason, Corey. You wouldn't normally see it this early in the race. I say this early. We're past the halfway point. But, folks, you know, when a 100-lap race for these modified cars, you really got to conserve your stuff.
That is true, because you don't know if there's going to be another caution. Oop, we have some 3 wide, it looks like, here with Evan Black here going on. That 3 wide is gone away, but Evan Black, he has those fresher tires. He's in the 11th position trying to gain something back as he's underneath Byron Bartlett in the 07 car as we enter turn 3.
He's able to make that bottom side work, or the middle groove work, I should say.
Oh, and we have a car
right
around. Kyle Bingham in the grass.
No caution right now. Doesn't look like there will be.
Let's still try to go back here on replay and see what could happen to Kyle Bingham, because he was running up there. Kyle Bingham, oh, perfect timing on my end. He got hit by the 55 on the straightaway of all places, but since it was low on the track, it did not bring out the yellow flag. So Kyle Bingham all the way down to the 18th position, still on the lead lap though. But as we go up front, guess what's happened? David Greenslet in the 20 is cutting into that lead. What was almost a half second is now a tick over 0.3 of a second. Brad Carpenter still dusting off that apron line.
Now, at this point in the race, Corey, who would you say would get the victory?
The faster car, I think, is almost factually the number 20, but with the difficulty to pass, is he going to have to use his nickname and be rowdy and do what it takes to get that win, or is he going to try to do it a Mark Martin style and do it as cleanly as possible? I guess it's really up to the mindset of David Greenslet.
Now, as you were talking, the 20 car almost got clipped by the 31 back there running that low line. A little bit of a close call there. I'm sure he knew his distance, but you know, that could have been bad for both those guys.
Yeah, as we said, Brad Carpenter running that line, he really does close up in the center of the turns, but he loses all of it on exit. As you can see here, he comes through turns 3 and 4. He really has to watch himself on exit.
Yeah, he does. And he's got to watch for the guys behind him. He gets that run through center, but if he loses too much momentum down there, he's done.
So you have to wonder, I mean, if that's just what he planned for, is that what his car is set up for, to run that line, or is he maybe just the traditional line 3-4 is not working for him? We don't quite know. Maybe we'll have to ask him that after the race if he's around.
Yeah, interesting. I've never seen anyone run that line as often as he does, Corey. Intriguing to me.
Oh, but sorry, Brandon, as we go back here to the about the 5th, 7th-ish positions here, we have another tight battle going on. We have Rodney Huntoon going underneath Cody Blanc here. That is for the 6th position. But the 88 of Ricky Nadeau is now going to the outside of Rodney Huntoon, so now we have a 3-way battle for that position going on.
0-1 stuck in the low side right now. Doesn't look like he's in a huge hurry to get back up.
But I'm gonna jump cut to the whatever. There's a battle for the lead going on here. David Greenslet is onto the inside line. No, it does not work for him.
English, Corey, English.
Jump cut. That is what I was trying to say, folks. Jump cut. If I said something accidentally inappropriate there, again, that was not intentional. I meant to say jump cut. As we come off turn 4 here, David Greenslet is right on the back bumper, so now it's all about planning. How is he going to make this pass? Because I don't think he's going to be able to make it in normal means. He's going to have to do something innovative, to say it nicely.
Yeah, and the more racier term would be put the bumper to him, Corey.
I was trying to be nice about it. I said innovative, but we all know that it's a short track. If he wants to win this race, given how it seems to play out, he's gonna have to, what was it again? Put the bumper to him.
Put the bumper to him, Corey. And that doesn't mean wreck him, folks. That is not what that means for those of you who might be saying, oh, well, why would he wreck him for the lead? That's not nice. No, he's just going to move him out of the way, move him down the racetrack, move him up the racetrack, whatever he has to do to kill that 57's momentum, because that's the only thing keeping him in the lead right now.
Caution on the racetrack. Zach Olney in the 13 car is backwards on the back straightaway.
As he is. Let's see what caused that.
So we go back here on Primetime TV replay. Zach Olney in the 13. Just solo got loose off a 2 and then looped it back into the center of the track. Very selfless. Very selfless wreck. So
Yeah, a little bit of an overcorrection caused the back end to kick back around on him. Didn't hit anything, no harm, no foul.
So now we'll restart with about 20 laps to go. So the question is, do you pit? And I'm pretty sure the answer is no, but there may be a couple takers back in the pack.
Maybe some of those guys on 2 tires that pedaled earlier will want to come in and take their other 2. We don't know. That's part of the strategy of this league.
So it looks like we're still trying to catch up to the pace car. So yes, here comes the pace car off turn 1. So I don't believe the pits have been opened yet. So our question will be answered this lap.
So let's see if anyone ducks down into pit road. 57 running the low side. Maybe, and he does. He is coming to pit road, Corey. No!
Oh, fake him out. But Brad Carpenter in the 31, Mr. Lowline, he's on pit road, and he's the lone taker up front. Very interesting decision there. Maybe that inside line killed his tires too much, or maybe he expected more to come down because there's only about 4 cars on pit lane right now, none of which were in the top 7 or 8.
So Corey, take a minute to throw this out there. Primetime Racing TV is looking for partners, folks. We have a few big projects that we're trying to work out, and if you're interested in helping us, you can go ahead and grab our email off of one of our social media pages at the top of the ticker.
You can have we do have a lot of opportunity for sponsorship, for logos, for videos. We have all of that stuff. A lot of good features here coming on Primetime TV. We're a startup channel with a big set of plans at the end of the road. So come join us with these Northeast Racers. We'll bring them to you all season. We'd love to bring you your league as well.
I would also like to take a moment to thank all of our fans out there so far. We are quickly growing. And, it's very good to see that subscriber count go up every day. It's really awesome, and we at Primetime Racing TV do thank you.
Well, that we do. And the lights are out on the pace car with 19 laps to go, and we will take the line with 18 laps to go. David Greenslet on the outside in second. Connor Blaze on the inside of the 57. We know he's going to go early. The question is how early, and is David Greenslet ready for it? Brandon, take him down. All right,
he's on
down.
the gas. Green flag back in the air at Irwindale.
We have to really get that speech done a lot earlier because Connor Blaze is going really early as possible. He's getting that lead.
He's gone. So behind him is a mess again.
Dynamite Dan LaFoe. Haven't talked about him much, but he's up to P2 now, and David Greenslet's in third. David Greenslet, we know, is probably the fastest car on the track, but now he's in second. The question is, Dan LaFoe hasn't been up here in this position all day, so what can he do? Can he perhaps run down Connor Blaze with 17 to go? 16 that is now.
We'll see, but the 20 car of Greenslet is not letting him get away. So these guys get side by side. I'm sure your leader would love to see that in his mirror.
Let's just bring up some graphics here, folks, and let's go to the leader, the leader of Connor Blaze here. His last lap was a 17.48. We're going to cut to Dan LaFoe here, and he ran a 17.64. So I just looking at the interval, the gap has already pulled away about 2/10 as the fast times dictate there. So David Greenslet really needs to get by, but I think he's going to need a caution if he's going to get the win right now.
Yeah, I'd say so. Not that many laps left, Corey. And, we're really coming down to the point where position is super important. If you want to get anything done, we know it's super hard to pass.
Yeah, Dan LaFoe, he knows he's not as fast as the 20, but he's in that position, and that's all he needs. Connor Blaze out to about a 1.5 second lead now, so he's just pulling away. Dan LaFoe, looks like he almost got in the wall there off turn 4. That's going to allow Greenslet to get position, but he has the position, but he's on the inside, which we all know means it's making it difficult to pass.
Yeah, they're side by side going into the corner now.
Can he cut him
rolling down
up?
the straightaway.
Oh, he tried chopping the nose, but he didn't have enough position to do so. But in doing all this, it's going to bring Cody LeBlanc and the 7 into that battle for P2.
So they're still side by side, rolling down the back straightaway, going into turns 1 and 2. The 11 manages to stay in front of the 20 of Greenslit.
This is all 2 seconds behind your leader, Connor Blaze, who is just out here in the new zip code all of a sudden.
Well, the 11 taps the wall just a little bit, Corey.
Connor Blaze is out here in the trophy shop putting his name already engraving on it. So unless we get a caution, and it's going to have to happen quick to get this thing restarted in time, Connor Blaze is looking pretty right now. Looking pretty.
Pretty. Yeah, he's way out there out front, Corey, and he is looking in his mirror thinking, everybody right now for racing as hard as they are, because he's just walking away.
He's saying no caution, no caution. That's all he's saying right now. As we have for the 4th position, Cody LeBlanc under fire from Bryantown in the 18. And there's a car backwards off of turn 2. That is Mark Reed just sitting there backwards on the racetrack, but he's low enough that it is not causing a yellow flag. And he's back righted, so we should stay green.
No yellow flag, and that probably scared your leader just a little bit, because we would have had that thing restarted.
If we're on taking 6 laps to go, and if we're going to have a caution, we're going to have it within the next 2 laps, or otherwise this race will unfortunately end under yellow, but we hope it ends under green, as we still have David Greenslet trying to get around Dynamite Dan LaFoe. Rowdy and Dynamite here, P2 and P3.
In motorsports, every position counts, and they're fighting hard for anything that they can get right now, Corey. The 20 car can just not quite get to the rear bumper of the 11.
That he cannot. Well, he's there. It's just getting by. And Dynamite in the wall. Dan LaFoe hit the wall off of 2. That's going to allow the 20-some position entering 3. But even doing the slide job on the bottom, he's not getting enough position to complete it.
No, not enough realty to get anything done right now, as they are side by side coming onto the straightaway now. Just nothing Greenslit can do. He's stuck there in 3rd position.
Yeah, he's running that lower line, but as we take 3 laps to go, he's not getting anywhere with it, unfortunately.
But look behind them, the 18 car trying to take position from the 7. Oh, as the 11 gets on the wall just a little bit once again.
Yeah, and what Greenslet's going to have to worry about is if he keeps trying to pass LaFoe on the inside, Cody LeBlanc could fill that spot in on the outside and then get him trapped on the inside. As we watch this amazing battle here, we have to go back up front to a 3.2 second lead for Connor Blaze as he takes the white flag here in the 3 Wide Designs 100 at Irwindale.
So they've already put his name on the trophy at this point, Corey. He has just walked away with this.
Connor Blaze in the 57. He's entering turns 3 and 4 for the final time. As he exits turn 4, Connor Blaze wins the 3 Wide Designs 100 as we look at the battle for P2. Side by side, Defoe, Greenslet, and Cody LeBlanc and Bryantown, your top 5 here at the Irwindale Speedway. We say congratulations to the number 57 car of Connor Blaze for his dominating win there at the end of this race, leading 90 laps today. Absolute pure domination that was by Connor Blaze.
Yeah, it really was. Very good effort from him.
Let's watch to see if any post-race celebrations are done by the 57. Dan LaFoe pulls up behind him.
Looks like they're all just going to line up for the podium positions. Correct?
Yeah, we got a podium. Looks like we got a podium picture here, as you said. Connor Blaze, again, starting 4th, led 90 laps here today. Absolute pure domination, if I've ever seen it recently before. So now that that's all decided and we've figured this out, let's go through your lineup here, your finishing order here at the Irwindale Speedway, and we'll get some interviews going after that. Again, with your win here, Connor Blaze in the number 57 car, leading 90 laps. Dan LaFoe in 2nd, David Greenslet in 3rd, Cody LeBlanc at 4th, Bryantown in the 5th position, Rodney Huntoon in the 6th position, Ricky Nadeau 7th, Evan Black 8th, Kyle Bingham in 9th, and Brad Carpenter, remember the Mr. Lowline up front for the majority of the race after that pit stop, down in the 10th position, Brandon.
Finishing 11th was Matthew Kimball, 12th, Byron Bartlett, 13th, Kyle Willis, 14th, Jeff Gallup, 15th, David Elliott. 16th, Ronald Narcom. 17th, Zach.
Only.
Yeah. My apologies once again. So behind him, finishing, was Mark Reed. 19th was Keith Lord, and rounding out the field in 20th was Graham Narcom.
So let's try to see who we have available to speak to today. Try to talk to our podium finishers here. Do we have our top three with us, Brandon?
I do have David Greenslit with me, Corey. David, you got a copy?
Yeah, how you doing?
Well, you were second most of this race, David. You ended up third. What was your car feeling like out there tonight?
It was actually really, really good. There's just no bottom here. I mean, I ran up on Connor a few times there. I just couldn't quite get him.
Yeah, we were seeing that all throughout the race. How difficult was it to pass out there?
It was very difficult.
Did you have any strategy during any point of this race to see if you could get around Connor?
I tried working the bottom line quite a few times there. I couldn't quite get enough of a run coming up off to get by him. Brad ran the bottom most of the race. He pitted the tires and he was telling us he wishes he didn't at the end of it there.
Well, you walk away with a podium finish nevertheless. Is there anyone that you'd like to thank tonight?
I got to thank Oval Technologies, Tyler Severa, Roger Severa, OJ, Robert, Dan, James Carl, all those guys. We worked really, really hard on setups and stuff. Dan was on the same setup I was. So, I mean, it shows right there what we got for everybody every week.
Well, that's awesome, David, and congratulations on your podium finish.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So, Corey,
Let's grab Dynamite Dan LaFoe. Dan LaFoe, do you got a copy?
I do.
All right. You saw you ran mid-pack for a good while, and then you got up front. I think it was via strategy at the end there, and you had a heck of a battle there with Greenslit to hold off for that second position. So talk about your day a little bit.
Well, I'm not really fond of this track. I struggle with it, but I just tried to be patient, and it just worked out my favor,
Yeah, we were talking to Dave. Yeah, we were talking to David about passing here today with that, well, obviously being a high line track. Were you able to complete any passes down the bottom, and how difficult was that?
No, I couldn't even get by anybody on the bottom. It's just the top line is the preferred line, so how this track's how it's built.
Yeah, so obviously after your race last week, you have a P2 finish this week, which is a good turnaround for you. So is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to or thanks to for your finish today?
Yes, Northeast Racers and Oval Technologies.
All right, 10-4. Congrats on your second place finish, Dan.
All right, thank you.
Right, and let's bring in Connor Blaze, our victor, into the booth for us, if he's available. And there he is.
Connor Blaze, dominating performance tonight, man. Congratulations on your finish, first of all.
Thank you.
So, how'd your car feel out there? Let's talk about your day a little bit.
The car felt pretty good. Had a little bit too much gas in it, and it was a little bit tight, but overall it came in towards the end.
Yeah, so you led 90 laps in today's race. Were you feeling heat from behind you in your rear view at all today?
Yeah, David was giving me a pretty good run for my money there, and I just switched it up towards the end with my main, what kind of line I was running.
Now, did you ever have any passing strategy? We know how difficult it is to pass here. Did you ever have any passing strategy going into today? Maybe it was in your setup, whatever. In case you got traps in mid-pack.
I set up the car a little bit looser, and I ran out in gears so I could run the lower line a little bit better.
Well, everything definitely paid off for you today. Ended up walking away with the victory. Anyone you'd like to thank tonight?
Just Apex Specialty Fabrication and everyone who's putting this thing together.
All right, well, awesome race today. Congratulations on your victory.
All right, so we want to thank you here from Primetime TV for watching the 3Y Designs 100 from the Northeast Racers here live at the Irwindale Speedway. I'm Corey Silva.
I'm Brandon Kreutz.
And we will catch you next week.
See you later, guys.